All right, I'm doing a total impromptu video here. I had enough questions come in about this topic where I'm actually up at one of my investment properties in northern Michigan here. So I'm not at the normal setting, as you can see, but like I said, enough people asked about it and I want to get it addressed, and just a couple of unique viewpoints that I saw out there that I wanted to kind of just set the context here for the idea, not really idea, but just kind of reiteration that this video would be a good idea. But Kevin says, no commentary on the billionaires bullying. And then another one, what do you guys think of the recent stuff that's been happening? So yeah, the recent stuff, and you saw it by the title of this video, WallStreetBets, GameStop, AMC, NAKD, all sorts of stocks, and then Robinhood and other online brokers restricting buying. Is this market manipulation? What exactly is going on? And I just want to weigh in with my thoughts because, like I said, enough people showed interest that, hey, Clay, what do you think is going on with all of this? And I should, like I said, I probably look like I just woke up. Like I said, it's the beginning of a guy's weekend here up at the investment property. So I don't know, troll away. I realize the beer, it is what it is, impromptu videos. But so what do I think? Well, to me, it all boils down to really, well, one thing. First, I would assume the one area that you and I can relate, because if you're in the stock market, then that means you agree with free markets. You agree with capitalism. You agree with the idea of, hey, let me try to make choices. Let these choices serve me in a way that's going to grow my wealth, and that's fantastic, right? So we are all, no matter what you ultimately think about my opinion, at least we have that common ground of we are people that enjoy capitalism. We enjoy free markets. We enjoy the idea that, hey, you know what? If I make decisions and leave these decisions up to me, then you know what? These could be good decisions from a monetary perspective. So like I said, that should be a common ground. So with that aside, let's break down a couple of things that'll help kind of set up where I stand and what I think. First off, the core linchpin right now for me is cash account or a margin account. That's where everything starts. If things are happening in a margin account, then I have no problem with it at all. I'm good with Robinhood. That's totally fine. I'm good with all other brokers. That's fine. Why? Well, a margin account means that's a loan. That's not your money that you're trading with. Somebody has loaned you the money. That's what margin is. Now, they don't call it a loan account. They call it a margin account, but that's what it is. It is a loan. Therefore, sorry, that's not your money. And put yourself in their shoes. If you were to loan somebody money and you thought they were going to go out there and just start putting money into some very crazy things, you would be, I would say, wise to be, I'm a little concerned. That's my money that I'm loaning to you. So I'm going to back things off. I'm going to put some restrictions. I'm going to do this, that, or the other, because again, it's my money that I'm loaning to you. So guess what? I get to dictate the premise of things. So from that angle, if this is all occurring, if anything is happening in a margin account, well, then I have no problem with it because, again, there are strings attached when it's not your money. And this is all explained in the fine print, and it is what it is. So, again, that's the first part. Margin account category, hey, Robinhood, I understand. Any broker, I understand. You get to dictate however you want to set those rules of margin, however you want to dictate those loans because, again, hey, they're the ones making the loan in the first place. Now, what happens if it's a cash account, meaning that is your own cash, meaning there are no strings attached because, hey, you know what? That's your cash. It's yours. They're not loaning you any money. And in that situation, if they're putting on restrictions or anything like that, hey, is the camera still on?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I shut off. Anyways, so we don't have to edit that out. But anyways, so.
Your computer shut off.
Oh, that's what threw me off. Okay, the computer shut off. All right. So if there's a cash account and it's your own cash, but then Robinhood is saying, for example, hey, you can't buy a stock. You know what? I'm okay with that. Why am I okay with that? Because again, free markets, that is Robinhood's choice to do that. If you don't like that choice, then hey, the way you stick it to Robinhood, the way you punch them in the face, go find another broker. That's it. Robinhood, they've made their choice. If that's how they want to treat people with their own cash, where there's no loan, which I think is stupid, right? Because it's their cash. However, I agree with them. I agree with it from the fact of free markets, they can do what they want. Now, it may cost them customers, then so be it. But I mean, these lawsuits, no, nobody forced you to choose Robinhood. But I mean, if that's what they choose to do, then the best way to stick it to them is just say, well, fine, I'm going to take my business elsewhere. That's how the free markets work. So even in that situation, I don't have any problem with it. Now, I don't agree with the decision, but as far as just the logic and rationale, hey, that's free markets. Now, where does it become manipulation? If a bunch of brokers, because for me and my broker, that was never an issue. I could buy GME, I could buy AMC all day when it was all getting shut down by some of these brokers. So it's not like every broker did it. But if cash accounts, so again, margin accounts never matters, but if cash accounts and then across the board, any broker you go to, even in a cash account, starts to get restrictions placed on it, starts to get all sorts of goofy things put on it, liquidating positions. When it's a cash account and it's across the board, that, in my opinion, is where it crosses into total market manipulation. That would be a coordination of brokers. That would be a coordination of a bunch of different entities to come together to behave in a certain way that restricts the consumer, which is no longer a free market. And therefore, because it's no longer a free market, I would disagree. That is straight up manipulation. So that's where I draw the line in the sand. And as of right now, as of the recording of the video, as of, I don't know, the publishing of this video will be a few hours from now, but as of now, that's not been the case. There have been brokers out there, like I said, mine, that haven't restricted anything. And that's great. So from a free market standpoint, if you don't like Robinhood, then you can go to another broker. So that's the line in the sand. If all of a sudden, a bunch of brokers start saying, hey, you got a cash account, but you still can't buy this, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. And it's something that's, wait a second, you're taking the choices away from me. Hey, wait a second, you're taking away my decision-making ability. And as soon as that happens across the board, that's straight up manipulation. That's coordinated efforts. And in my mind, that's where things get very, very shady. But as of now, like I said, that quite hasn't happened. Now you may be saying, Clay, I get it. Robinhood, I want to stick it to them. I want a new broker. And all I will say is a couple things. If you do want another broker, I would recommend, let me put it this way, another free commission broker that approaches, I would argue, in a very good way. I'll put a link down to Webull. I've always recommended them, and not to pat myself on the back, but if you've ever watched the history of the channel, you know I've never once recommended Robinhood. Well, Clay, you're only recommending Webull because they offer an affiliate program. Yeah, so does Robinhood. And I've never recommended Robinhood. So again, just because I don't like Robinhood as a platform, I don't like it as a broker, just for logistics and another reason I've explained in other videos. But again, I'll still be fair. I still agree with Robinhood's choice to say, no, we're going to restrict all that stuff because free market, then just go someplace else. And also, I'm going to put a link down below. Webull CEO had an interview with Yahoo Finance that I thought he did a very good job of explaining what was going on. So if you want to click on that link down below and look at that, then you can read through that interview. But yeah, as far as, okay, Clay, yeah, I do want to stick it to Robinhood. I do want to shove it in their face and say, yeah, you know what? Your choice, Robinhood, but you know what? As a consumer, it's also my choice to go someplace else. So if you want someplace else to go, I'll put a link down to Webull, and it'll be a kind of a behind the scenes walkthrough of their platform, what it's like. And like I said, I think it's a fantastic platform. And I don't know, for you Webull users out there, comment down below. Was buying restricted? If it was, I know they got things back on track pretty quick in the same day, which was good to see. They were out there trying to hustle and grind and make sure they got things back into play. But I did have a couple of people saying, no, I'm on Webull and I was able to buy everything. So I don't know, there seems to be, I don't know if it was some accounts or not, but point being, I was very impressed with Webull's, speed at which to get back that they would allow people to start to trade again. So like I said, you can check them out if you want to see a platform walkthrough and see what you would be getting if you decided to change over to them. And I'll put that link down below. But overall, those are my thoughts. Crazy, crazy stuff. WallStreetBets, all this stuff really changing the market. I'm also going to be addressing more of this in a future video on Monday in terms of kind of WallStreetBets and my one concern with what they have going on, and hopefully they don't make certain choices that ruin it. And then also on Monday on the podcast for those of you that, so a quick plug for my podcast. If you're not aware, I do have a podcast. You can listen to that. And Monday, I'll also be addressing some of these other issues. But as far as this hot topic right now about restriction, is this market manipulation? Is this, protecting the hedge funds? Like I said, I've given my thoughts. It's a free market, and give and take. We're both people that want free markets. Then yeah, it's up to them to do however they want to do it. And if you don't like it, well then go to other brokers that weren't doing it And, that's just how it works for now. But like I said, the key thing to watch is the cash accounts. And if all brokers across the board and all cash accounts start to put on restrictions and start to make goofy things, that would be manipulation. And yeah, at that point, I'm full bore and joining the anger. I'm full bore and saying, wait a second, what is going on here? But that hasn't been the case as of yet. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully I made at least some sort of sense in my logic. So, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm not saying I'm totally right. Maybe there's some flaws in my thinking here. Maybe there's some angles. Iron sharpens iron, so I'm all for feedback. I don't know, and I'm gonna put it this way. Any comment that's left, I'm just gonna have to reply, thanks for listening, because I really don't have the time. It's guys weekend, like I said, to get in some sort of big philosophical debate in the comment sections. So for this video, I'm just gonna disclose up front that no matter what you comment down below, I'm just gonna reply with thanks for watching, because like I said, I'll still read comments, but I just don't wanna tempt myself down the rabbit hole of getting into some sort of big old debate. So like I said, I do appreciate all comments. I hope that you ask them. If we can get some other discussions going on between people, that's fantastic too. But for my sake, just full disclosure, I will read them. I appreciate them, but I'm just gonna reply back with anything. Hey, thanks for listening. So on that note, thanks for listening. Hit that like button if you enjoy these kind of current event type videos. And if you do like them, if I see that this gets quite a bit of interest, then I can try to do more of these current events. But yeah, hopefully everybody has a great weekend. Everybody take care.